Hello, my friends. John LaRuffa here with another Straight Up Solo. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at Life of the Amazonia. I'm going to show you how this game plays solo, play a few turns, and then let you know what I think. Let's get started. Okay, folks, and as usual, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. And if you have, I do really appreciate that support. Thank you so much. So let's start with a couple of PSAs. First of all, if you decide to get coin sleeves like I did for your components here to make them a little more robust, note that they all won't fit back in these boxes. So that was kind of annoying. I probably should have known that. These have nice little trays to close them at the end, you know, when you're ready to pack it up. And I did have a couple that didn't fit. Now maybe I could have gotten smaller coin sleeves. I tried to get the ones that would work with these, but oh well. So just note that they do get a little thick, and I mean, these aren't that thick, so if you really wanted to go back in, but you don't like the components that came with it, you may want to think about getting the deluxe, bigger or wooden components from the website. That'll be a little more cheap, a little more expensive. These were pretty cheap, but just throwing that out there. So anyway, what is this game about? Well, you guys have probably played similar style games of bag builders, and that's what this game is. It's a bag builder, okay? And with this bag building mechanism, you will use coins to upgrade your bag by buying higher level tokens, okay? And so there's coins in this game, but the other currencies are the fruit, the leaves, and the water. And you're using fruit and leaves to get the big animals and sometimes some water too. I guess it's split. You're using water for these special cards. These are one-time use cards that let you do something specific, and then these are end-game scoring cards, and these usually require a decent amount of water. These are a little bit cheaper. Then you've got these little flowers here, and you have these wild tokens. The flowers and the trees are part of the life and part of the puzzle building, which you're doing in this game, really. And then these are wild cards you can get also. Now, the game comes with 4 sets of these cards that are that basically show how each of these individual animals score. And unlike games like Cascadia, I wouldn't say unlike, but I'll put it this way: these are more complicated than games like Cascadia, I think, is in regards to how they score. So each of these things, it really puts your brain to work as far as what do I want to do, how do I want to score it. Because unlike Cascadia, and I use that game as a comparison because it just naturally seems to flow that way. That game, you're always taking an animal, taking a tile, taking an animal, taking a tile. Here, the animals are expensive. So you have to really focus on, I'm going to buy this animal. I need to make sure I get the most out of this thing because it's expensive. And when you're playing the solo mode, the game ends in 20 turns. So there is some serious tension here because you don't have a lot of time to build up the bag to just flood your stuff with different animals and score huge. But in order to win the game, you do have to score pretty high. Now, what I will say this about the solo mode is that there is like a solo, I'll say, sandbox, which is the first mission. And that has some winning conditions of 70, 100, and 140. My first game I did very poorly because I didn't really maximize my animals very well. I got a couple of this, a couple of that, and they all scored low, and it was just abysmal. But what they do have is they have 9 different scenarios you can play. The first one, like I said, is more of a sandbox, but the other ones have conditions that you set up for, and they have winning conditions and stuff, which is very cool. I like that because that doesn't just make the game a simple beat your own score. They specifically set things up to try to accomplish different things, which is cool. So what are you doing? Well, on every turn, just like other similar bag builders, you're going to draw a certain amount of tiles. You can also hold tiles over depending on your storage capabilities. You always start with 1. So you're going to draw 5, and you might have some things in reserve. You're going to put those together, and you're going to be able to do one of 8, well, as many of these 8 different actions as you want. And the actions are purchasing resources. So like I said, upgrading your bag, placing terrain tiles. So you're going to put it around here and expand the terrain with those, with these different hexagonal tiles. Placing an animal. So you're going to buy an animal, put it down. Each animal has a certain requirement of where it can be placed. Some are more stringent than others. Some actually cover 2 spaces versus just 1. Placing a tree, which is really simple, you're just putting it down in the landscape. Placing aquatic flower, and so it goes without saying that the aquatic flowers have to go in aquatic rivers, and the trees need to go on land. So they have to either go in the forest or in this I think it's actually like a swamp or a meadow or what. It's not a meadow, it's like a swampland, because this is the Amazon. And then you could place a nature card or purchase a nature card. You can have up to 4 of these, okay? So 4 endgame scoring cards. This is a discard over here. You can expand your storage, and you can purchase a bonus, which you can have. You can do that as much as you want. The one thing that's a little different, you never get change in bag builders, right? But in this game, if you overspend, you can take the same action multiple times with one chunk of resources. For instance, like if I wanted to buy, if I wanted to upgrade my tokens, I could spend 2, if I had 2 of these 4s, I could use this 8 to buy like a 3, and a 2 would be 5, and maybe another 2 would be 7 or something like that. So you can combine a little bit there. So it's not like one action is just complete and discrete. Also, if I happen to have, for instance, 10 fruit and 4 waters, I could spend that, with all at once to do that twice. But you can't buy different animals. I don't believe. I think you have to buy the same. I can't remember that, but I could look it up. The point is they do make it clear here that you can kind of maximize your purchase power, so to speak, but you're not allowed to get change, which is very standard. Now, the way that the solo works is at the end of every turn, you are going to advance this little disc, and then you're going to do what it says here. And when it has a little comet area right there, you're going to draw one of these solo discs out, and it's going to remove some animals, and it's going to probably move up the solo player, which is the green, on some of these tracks, which may deny you some bonuses and will also count negatively against your score at the end. And then it may also take some of these cards away. So get them while they're good, getting's good, otherwise they might go away. And if you cover up a specific icon, you actually get that bonus. So when I covered this icon, I got the ability to take an acorn. When I covered this one here, or when I will cover that one, I'll be able to thin out my bag. And there's other different bonus symbols placed on these terrain tiles that when you cover, or bonus symbols over here when you hit that spot, that you get to do stuff. And those bonuses are pretty standard. Drawing extra tokens, placing a special terrain tile, which changes the landscape. You can place it over certain things or put it next to it. Gaining a seed, which is wild. Relocating an animal. Renewing some of these, so taking some out and putting some new ones in there. Discarding to thin out your bag permanently, and then there's that one-time bonus if the first person to get there will get it. All right, so let me show you a couple of turns, and then I'll tell you what I think. So it's my turn right now to start, and I've got $5 to work with, 2 fruit and 2 water. One of the flexible things they did allow you to do this in this, and I have these 2. In this game is you can trade any 2 value in for, or 2 different tokens, pardon me, for 1 of any single value. So I could use these to be like 1 fruit if I wanted to get a 3 out of that. And I might actually. So I've got some frogs set up here because those help score in different configurations. So if I put a frog right here, which is what I might do on this turn, it will allow me to score 9 points off that grouping of frogs. And the frogs and or the flowers, but you have to have more frogs than flowers. And as you can see over here, the shape is specific. The other thing I could do, so let's see. So I've got this wild. I can make this into a 3, so that would be good because that gives me a 3 on the fruit area. And that would let me at least have enough for this guy or that guy. And actually I might do that because this is similar, except you're going to be using the trees. And my goal right now is I was going to try to make this little ring over here and then also plop one of these guys in there to score 1 point per life. So that would be a way to get some stuff. So let's do that. We're going to spend this, and they go in your little discard boat. So this is right there. That's 2 plus 1 is 3 fruit. And then this is 2 water. I don't get change. I'm sorry. I'm going to do this way. 1 leaf, and then I get to take a woodpecker. I'm going to put it right here, and he's going to allow me to score based on these configurations. So that's at least worth 3 points, and if I could put another woodpecker there, if I get more terrain, then that would be 6. Okay, so then I have some other things I can do. Well, I do want to upgrade my storage, so I'm going to spend this too, so I can store more tiles, and that allows me to thin out my discard or my draw, and I'm going to get rid of this one. As usual, you want better tokens in your bag, so goodbye 1. We'll toss him out of there, and then I have $5 left, and with the $5, I still think it's early enough in the game where I probably want some more money, but so I don't want to flood my bag with money because that doesn't really do me any good after a little while, like usual. So it's almost enticing maybe to spend 4, and maybe that's what I'll do. I'll spend 4 and I'll get this fruit, and then I'll save the 1 in reserve for later, okay? All right, so we're gonna save the 1 over here, and then my turn's over, so I slide this over, and we draw out one of these tiles from him. So he's gonna discard one of these caimans, and he is going to discard this, so I cannot get it. And you replace, and then he's going to move up on this track. Now that there's 3, the rules say when there's 3 in his boat, you put him back in, and there's a total of 8. If throughout the game you exhaust a complete animal supply where his token doesn't matter, you'll draw the token, you'll just discard it for the rest of the game, you won't use it anymore. Okay, so, and I should have drawn 5 at the end of my turn. Really doesn't matter too much when that happens, but okay, so my bag is empty, which means when I draw again, I'll have to refill it. So I've got a lot of money now, which is good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And with 8, I think I'm going to do one more time. I'm going to get, this is probably the last cash action I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and buy this level 4 money here. And then I've got the 2 and the 1. And that's just not quite enough for anything special. But that's why I upgraded my storage so I could store both of them. And now refill my bag and draw up the 5. But because I got the storage, now my hand is going to be 7 because I stored some. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. We slide this over. Now this allows me to discard 1. Unfortunately, I didn't plan that all that well. And so I don't have anything in my discard, but I can discard from my hand, and I will. So I'm going to get rid of this level 1. Sure, it kind of shoots me in the foot a little bit, but I'll show you why that's okay in my mind. So now it's next turn, and what I'm actually going to do is I want to kind of finish my plan here and put this guy out. Now I don't have 5, but I can spend these 2 for 4, and I can spend 2 of any other token, which I will. I'm going to go ahead and do this, 2 and 2, like that. And that's going to be my other one, so that's 5. So 5, I'll put him right here, and he will help me score. Right now, it'll be worth 5 points at the end of the game, and I'll fill that in eventually, and it'll be 6. So I have 3 water left, and with my 3 water, I'm going to purchase this. So what this says is, reduce the cost of 1 animal this turn by 2 fruit. Oh, shoot. Well, I could have done that earlier. So instead of 5, it would have been 3. No. Let's do this. Let's just get this one. This one gives me a wild. And the other thing I could have done is I could have placed another one of these here. That would have given me another draw. But I think I'm going to do that because I want the wild. The wilds are pretty good, especially in a game like this. So that's gone. All right. So then these are spent, and that hangs on. Actually, that was a 2, so I have a 1 water left. I'll store it. No reason not to. I'll draw 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we slide over, and he does another turn by grabbing another tile. He takes the caiman again. So the 1 caiman level, and he goes up here, and then he'll take discard the third one of these. Okay. Back to me now. I have some more water. That's 3 water, but really what's good is that, take 1 token of choice from the discard pile. So that could be actually good. That would be a 2, but I have this 5. And again, this is a really, because we only have 20 turns, you don't have a ton of time. You really got to think strategically about your bag building. With the 5 coins, that really doesn't get me what I'm looking for. I really need 6. And I think the best thing for me to do would be to spend these and this to make 6 in order for me to buy this level 3 leaf. Because then at least with this level 3 leaf, I can afford to do some more things over here and I can afford some of these actions a little easier. All right, now I have this 3 leaves right here plus this wild. What I will do is I will spend the 2 leaves to go like this and place this tree. And then I'm putting the tree right here. And that's okay because that'll give me my 6 and it also let me discard 1. And I'm going to discard another one of those 1 value coins if I have any in here. Do I? So 3, a 2. No. So I'm going to discard this level 1 water token just to get it out of there. All right. And let's see. I have 1 and a 1. I'll just save them. I'll draw up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, a lot of money that turn. Slide him over. What does he do this time? Well, he is going to discard 2 frogs. And then he is going to discard this card over here and do another bump over here. Okay, so I'll play 1 more turn. Let's see, 4, 6, 7, 8. So with the 8, I might bump it up just 1 more to make it a 9. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go like this. So it's 6, 7. I want this level 3 here. So I'll do the 7 like that. And then I have this 1 left over, which is kind of pointless. And I have a 3 on the leaves. So the 3 on the leaves, maybe what I'll do is I'll buy that extra terrain that I was talking about. That would help. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to spend 2. And I'm going to get the terrain that gives me more options up there, which is this one. And I want to put something over here to help me get this whole thing going a little better with that woodpecker. So I'm going to have to fiddly move this down. We'll put that right there. And then, well, yeah, and then at least I can do something here and then maybe put another one there and that'll give me the 9 I need. And who knows, maybe I'll have to figure something else out. Like I said, there's a lot to actually think about and contemplate here with the choices you make. You just don't have that much time to waste. And I have a 1 and a 1. I guess I'll save these. All right, I'll save those and we draw 5 more. 1, 2, everybody goes in. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the final turn for him, not the final turn, but the next turn for him is right here, and it is remove Jaguar, and then get rid of it, or move up in the tree, pardon me, and then do this swap renew. Now when he does the renew, I think it's like me doing the renew. So I choose up to 2 cards or tiles or a mix and get rid of them. Well, the one that I don't think I'm going to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think I'm going to get the Grand River going, so we're going to get rid of this one. Maybe get some better options there. And then I'm also not interested in, and I never drew this out, sorry. Let's see. I'll just dump this one. Okay. And then because we had those three, we put them back in here. So you get a good idea, I think, of how this game plays. After 20 rounds, you go ahead and score it up, and basically you're going to score for each of these cards. Oh, and also you get one special, which I need to actually remember to play. This is like a special ability you get to play down once per game, and then that'll unlock something. So for instance, this one says if you put it next to 2 trees, which I can here when I build another tree, then a seed value is worth 2 of any 2 value resource instead of 1. So that's kind of cool. And once you build it, you unlock that. And there's a bunch of different ones like that in the game, again, adding to the variety. So like I said, you're going to score all these depending on the conditions. Then you are going to score any of these cards up to 4 that you have. You can only have 4, as many. And then you'll score on the tracks. You'll subtract the points that the AI scored on the tracks from your score. You'll score 1 point then for each of these left over, and you don't have the 5-point endgame thing because it just ends after 20 rounds. So that's it. Let me tell you what I think about it. So Life of the Amazonia is a lot more of a thinker's game than you would at first kind of see. It looks sort of, it looks like it's, you know, a more of a family-friendly game. And actually, if you get the Kickstarter version, which I happen to pick up in my store, they had the Kickstarter version. It actually comes with the F deck, which is a much more simple scoring mode versus the ones that are in the base game, which are a little bit more complicated. And so that's okay. You can make it into a family game, but I think this is not a simple game. This isn't an impossible game, but this is a game that has some really, really specifically strategic choices. And instead of being a tactical affair, this one's more strategic than you think. Because you're building your bag, that's always going to be a strategic decision of how do I want to make this bag the best I possibly can. If I just keep putting stuff in and willy-nilly, it's just going to be a bag of mediocrity, and then it's not going to help me get what I want. And then you got to focus. Well, what do I really want, right? Am I going to focus on animals that I mean, you always need the fruit tiles. There's no doubt about that. That's kind of a given. But do I want to have a more water-heavy bag or a more leaf-heavy bag? And depending on what I choose there, the water-heavy bags really help, or at least some more of that will really help you get some of those endgame bonus cards, which are really important for scoring, and the in-game bonus cards. But the leaves help you to build more trees and help you to expand your Amazonia area a little bit more. A little bit easier. So there's lots of difficult choices here, especially the way that things have to score and the way they work. And there's a lot to really take in. And I love that. I really do, because I like games like this and I love bag builders. But I find that after a while, games like Cascadia can kind of get a little bit, they just get a little bit, I don't know, dry, maybe a little boring after a while. From a solo standpoint, it's still fun to play with the family and especially people who are new to games. But from a solo standpoint, even though there are so many different levels in there of things to do, the decisions are still very tactical. It's just whatever's out here. This is a strategic game as far as I'm concerned, because you are building up what you're doing. You know exactly what the scoring mechanisms are from the get-go. The only thing that is random, so to speak, are the cards that come out. So that's a little bit of variety and a little bit of tactics, but I shouldn't say variety, but there's a lot of variety in this game. But the tactics there might be kind of, okay, this is good, this isn't good, I'll use this, or I won't use that. Overall, I think it's really a lot of fun. And the solo mode to use the solo bag, that's really good. It's very simple. You saw how it does. It does deny you things. It takes away bonus cards that you might want. It takes away animals you might want for your strategy, so it's effective. But it's very easy to handle. You just slide the disc over. And because it's 20 rounds and only 20 rounds, at least in the first scenario, it really provides a ton of tension. You don't have time to be floundering around with the bags and things like that. The games can end pretty quickly. And this game does go quickly. The setup is a little bit long, but I think the company did a decent job trying to make that at least a little better with some of these components that they brought there. I don't like the waterfall. That's gimmicky. The problem is I got to take it apart and put it back together every single time I take it out of the box. I would have rather just had a board. I would have been fine with that. And yeah, I could just not set it up, but because it's got the folds in it, then it's all all kind of cockeyed, and I could smooth it out, I know. So it's not the end of the world, it's just my preference. Either way, I think it's a great choice. It is a little unfortunate that some of the components are a bit thin, but I put the coin sleeves on them, and it's totally fine there. You can buy these coin sleeves on Amazon for like, I think it were like $8 for a set of 200, maybe a little bit more. So it's not expensive, but then again, they won't fit in the storage components there. So either way, I really hope this was informative, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And whatever you decide to do in the future, hope you have a fantastic time doing it. Take it easy, everybody.